Memorial Day. This is what this whole weekend is about. All the pool openers, barbecues, and everything that else goes on. The main important thing is that we do, in remembrance, do remember those who paid the ultimate sacrifice for us to have and enjoy the freedoms that we have, that we can do today, this weekend. As this day is strictly an observance for them. So you can take out a little couple of minutes for our day and just in memorandum, because that's important. How's everybody doing this weekend? Does anybody have any leftover barbecue?
I didn't barbecue at all, so I'm happy to go wherever somebody tell me.
I'm saying baked beans, some grilled chicken, a hot dog.
You got barbecue over there?
I guess not.
For
But
me,
I
don't have any barbecue over here. Get as a real tip or something that will come in handy. I don't know.
nope, I guess nobody barbecued. They were just reflecting on what happened to our fallen angels of
Yeah, they was doing that over a plate of barbecue hot dogs, hamburger.
I really wasn't clear on the difference of Veterans Day and Memorial Day. I just thought they were both military days.
No. Veterans Day is to honor all veterans. Memorial Day is to honor those, as they say, some as all gave it some gave it all. Is to honor the fallen soldiers who actually died while on duty, or the ones that who's passed away. It's in memorandum. But Veterans Day is to celebrate all veterans here and gone. And so, but more so the ones here and present, as we want to thank those, as they say, give them flowers while they still upright and vertical. But in memorandum, these are the people who fought for our freedoms that we never even met, never even saw. But we honor them because they did it. Because some people think it's for the fallen, some people think it's a duty. Others really know it's a calling. And so that's what I'm saying. And so and when they dialed up, their numbers dialed, they don't ask no questions. They just go straight in because it's America, that flag. You know, there's bloodshed for that flag. The bloodshed for freedoms that you can do today. From all walks of life, everybody else, doesn't matter. They made a sacrifice, signed up, and win the battle. And I respect that. Because not everybody can do it. Period. So that's the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Then you got the Armed Forces Day, that's honoring all the armed forces, which is veterans, but acknowledging the armed forces, the branches of the military. Does everybody know what the branches of the military are? Can anybody?
Yeah.
Yes,
what
sir.
Are the branches of the military?
You have Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard. Coast Guard is considered one, right?
Absolutely.
And I think that's it. But I feel like I'm missing one.
Anybody else? I heard somebody else say that they know it. Does anybody else know?
Yeah, Reserve.
Yeah, I think she got them all. Instead of the National Guard and the Reserve, she got.
That's it. National Guard and the Reserve.
Reserves.
Space Force.
I was just about to say, you're missing one, because Space Force. As now when you call somebody a space cadet, that actually means that they're being cadet for the Space Force, which, is the latest branch of the armed services. So y'all all correct, absolutely. And so that's
Do
what
we
it
have
is.
anyone on the call tonight that has lost a family member to the military while they were in the military?
Anybody want to answer the question?
Yes,
And
my
so
grandfather. My grandfather, Mr. Nathaniel Clark.
I lost 6 uncles, 2 aunts. To military.
Do y'all know what branch or what their job was while they were in the military?
Navy, Army, and Air Force.
Army.
Do you know what they did while they were in the military?
I think it was munitions, if I'm not mistaken.
In my needing to get it together more, I actually went online and found out some facts about it. About Memorial Day.
Give us those rundown.
A couple of facts about Memorial Day was originally referred to as Decoration Day. Alrighty, let me see.
And Decoration Day meaning what? Because that's like somebody getting an accommodation.
It says shortly after the Civil War, General John A. Logan called for a Decoration Day to honor those who died during the bloody struggle.
Mhm.
So I guess that's kind of like decorating, Councilman, like some of the towns that I go through. You see the streets are lined with flags and veterans' names and faces are hung from telephone poles and whatnot.
Right. Or at the graveyards and sites of that nature.
Yes.
Right. I just wanted clarity because the Decoration Day. But when did they become? So when did they change it to Memorial Day?
Let's see. It says the 30th of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion, and whose bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land, is how they wrote it down. Approximately 620,000 were killed in the Civil War than any other war in American history over time.
Over half a
Decoration
million
Day
people.
became known as Memorial Day.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't always observed on the last Monday. It was originally observed on May 30th, and then they changed it in 1968. And they passed the Uniform Holiday Act in 1968, and then that's when it became the last Monday of May, and it went into effect in 1971.
So they changed it in 68, became effective in 71, 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and interesting, because in 1968, there's a lot of things that happened in 1968. But we're not gonna go there, but I'm just saying that it's just keep in mind, or just go do your own research. But 1968 was a pivotal year, but so just.
And then it says, in case you didn't know, there was the National Moment Remembrance Act sets aside 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day as a moment to pause during the day.
Absolutely, because they do a very big thing at Arlington National Cemetery in DC. on this day. And precisely at 3 o'clock, they honor them. It's if you ever had a chance to go up there or be up there and you have just go by and see, it's very unique. And so
It says, according to U.S. Department Veterans Affairs, flags are to follow a certain procedure. On Memorial Day, the flag should be flown at half-staff from sunrise until noon only. Then raised briskly to the top of the staff until sunset in honor of the nation's battle heroes.
and it's precisely at 12 o'clock. I mean, yeah, the military is very precise with the timing. You said from sunup until precisely at 12 noon.
Mhm.
And then from
There till sundown.
till sundown, and then briskly for the rest of the day up to the top of the staff.
Mhm. Did anybody know any of those things?
I hope they do now, because we're
I
gonna
wasn't aware.
there's gonna be a trivia later on, not today, but when we ask these questions to 7 people. So because we have some tickets coming up for the Southwest Arts Center to play. So as there will be questions later on about that. Do we have any veterans on the call today? If you are a veteran, can you acknowledge yourself? No veterans on the call today? Nobody participated in the military? Okay. But if you see a veteran out there, just acknowledge them.
Yeah, I definitely want to recognize my brothers, and my sister. I got 3 brothers and a sister in the military. They're Army, National Guard, and Marine. That's my sister. She's a Marine.
It takes a lot to be a Marine now.
Yes, sir. What is it?
And it is good. And so, because I got a cousin retired from Marines.
It's
And
tough.
20 years, huh?
Wow.
Yeah. And so, and I got a god sister retired from Army, just did her retirement. She was in the Human Resources Department. And so, and of course, my pops, Strategic Air Command, Air Force. And so, we acknowledge those that are around us. And we appreciate their duty, their call to duty.
Would you like some more facts? Oh, somebody got a comment.
Absolutely. Get us. I want a fun day filled with facts. Absolutely.
So the next piece is I went down to see my uncle this weekend, and he was in the military, and he said, "Did you know Memorial Day was started by Black people?" And I said, okay." I didn't really believe him, but I just Googled it, and it does say that. So I'm like, alrighty then. So let me tell you what it says. Memorial Day was started by a former slaves on May 1st, 1865 in Charleston, South Carolina, to honor 257 dead Union soldiers who had been buried in a mass grave in a Confederate prison camp. They dug up the bodies and worked for 2 weeks to give them the proper burial as gratitude for fighting for their freedom.
Wow, my home state.
Your home state.
Yes, I'm from South Carolina.
And if
Mhm.
you ever go over to Charleston, like I said, there's a rich history in Charleston.
Yeah, I go to Charleston quite often. Yeah, and it is absolutely rich in history and beautiful.
Right. And have some of the best seafood that you best I get it. Anyway, you got to go to Charleston but rich on history is every time I go there, I learn something different. And Memorial Day, right? Because those slave soldiers over there was the ones that was being forgotten about because they
Mhm,
really didn't care. They were slaves,
mhm.
but their brothers cared.
As
And
well as
so,
rich history in Gullah Geechee as well. Gullah
right.
Geechee community, yeah.
Well,
Right, so the US gives credit starting in 1968 with General John A. Logan as declaring it May 30th, but
right. It was Declaration Day.
1965 it started.
Right. It was Declaration Day beforehand. Is that he's acknowledging it for calling it Memorial Day. But
No,
when
he
was the
started it as
national?
Decoration Day in 1968, but they have been doing this, they did it starting it, the blacks started it in 65.
No, when did you say the general said? You said it was
He's
1868.
he said started it at 68, which is what nationally everybody puts out as when Memorial Day started,
Did you say
1868.
1868?
Correct, after
Right.
the Civil War, but it
So 100
originally
years
started
later,
in 65 with the blacks in South Carolina.
1865.
Mm-hmm. They
I want to make
started
sure.
in
Right.
65.
I want to make sure I want to make sure that the correction out there, everybody understands. 1865 was when the blacks started. They said it officially when General whoever at 1868. But
Mm-hmm.
then fast forward 100 years later, in 1968, pivotal year, that it was declared Memorial Day that went into effect in 1971.
On the fourth Monday instead of May 30th.
Right. I want to be clear because I want to be clear, number one, but I want to be clear so everybody can be clear as on the dates. Because when you say 68, some people resort back to 1968. But you said it was because too of the National Holiday Uniform Act.
No, I moved off that screen. No, it was the Decoration Day. You talking about for the blacks or for the whites?
No, no,
When they
no, no,
started?
no. On the fourth Monday, the reason I changed from May 30th to the fourth Monday of May because it was the National Uniform Holiday.
Oh, when they signed the paperwork for it.
Right.
Yeah, and then that's when they moved it to the fourth Monday instead of May 30th. So
Right.
up until 71, it was on May 30th. And then they changed it to just the fourth Monday instead of May 30th.
Correct. Because May 30th is the last day of the month. Or is
The
it
last
it's
Monday.
31 days in May?
No, it's just the last Monday of the month.
Right.
The fourth Monday is now the when they do it.
Right. Because the 30th would have fell on any day of the week.
Correct. Like this month, it would be. I mean, this year it would be tomorrow.
Correct.
So I'm assuming with them trying to move more and more holidays to just be off of the Monday, they just moved that one too.
And to
But the
kids, this day
real
is
day
known as
is tomorrow.
right. But to kids, you know what this day is known as? Official pool opening day. This is when they officially open up pools.
And a big travel holiday. The travel time too.
Yeah. Because graduations just took place. People want to go on vacation. Actually, I know some people leaving tomorrow to go on to vacation for the rest of the week. And, some people already left. And so, or to wherever their travels may be. Because some people decided to come to take a vacation out here in South Fulton. But hey, we'll see. Anybody else? Ladies and gentlemen, look here. This is a free take, y'all. We are there for Memorial Day. That's why we talking about this. And because it's Memorial Day. But if you have anything that you on your mind you want to say, please feel free. It's still your call. We're getting close to the second half. And so If you want to say anything, open, the agenda is your agenda, open forum.
Ms. Collins said that there's a situation with the ambulance service providers that need to be addressed immediately. No
Oh,
ambulance service.
absolutely,
cannot
absolutely.
wait.
And your father and husband, yes, after the thank them for their service and memorandum. And so,
Hey, Corey, this Miss Johnson.
Ms. Johnson, hey,
I got my hand raised, but anyway, the ambulance service. This weekend, there was 2 incidents that happened. One in Regan Ridge and one in my subdivision, where this guy, he had his second stroke, and the ambulance did not come. The fire truck came. He had fell and hit his head. He had a bleed on the brain the first time, and now also this one. And so the fire truck said they did not have any ambulance to take him. So they helped his wife get him into the car. Now he is in Emory downtown with a bleed on the brain. What kind of stuff is that? The other one happened at the same time in my subdivision. The fire truck came, they finally got, 20 minutes later, they got a ambulance to come. It took 20 minutes. This person is at Piedmont Fed. What's going on with that?
well, one is we've been having calls with ambulance services. Then we had Grady, and then but they provided to all over the region, and it's just an issue. That's one of the things that when we did the tour of the whole 911 facility up there dealing with the calls with Fulton County, we did find out a lot of other information. But Chief Jones, Chad Jones, our fire chief, which is doing an excellent job. Now, as you go through the fire recruitment, get this, you're now required to take your EMS as well before you graduate, so that fire can respond to those calls. This is to address the issue as a head on, as that's why you can say fire trucks, because there's no transport from fire to the hospital. However, they could be the first responders to render first aid until the first till transportation can get there, as that whole, it's a whole issue with the
Yes, it is.
call service deal. I'm not gonna go into detail about it. However, we'll tell you about solutions being done to affect it and to generate it, because it's not just it's a region-wide issue. And so and we have matter of fact, that's one good question I could pose to our interim city manager. So as how better to get some contractual services with transportation, because that's the issue. And then you have to realize too, the transportation is no longer going to the closer route, because they got to go to all these other ones because there's no emergency room in the general area. So anyway, that's another
So
caveat.
we do not call 911. I guess we just need to head to the hospital, because the first person I told you about.
Fire came on the scene now. And so now he's going through the program, as all of them going through the EMS training and going through it, as they'll be able to render aid until transportation get there. Not saying that you should not call 911, because sometimes a situation may call for where the person who's been affected cannot be moved at that time, or they have to be stabilized. And so you don't want to take that risk of unstabilizing them and something goes right during transportation, which could happen. And so
That's what I'm saying.
right.
He
So the
died.
best thing to do, right? But the best thing to do, call 911. Our fire showed up, and so and they usually have a little tag on it that says EMS too. And I can't wait till all of them have that on there. And so, but that's actually part of recruitment now. They got to go through their course, and so be EMS trained. And so Chief Jones is doing a wonderful job in attacking the issue, because it's an issue. I would be sitting here lying to you, tell it's not an issue. it is an issue, but we're doing things what Chief Jones is doing things over there within the department to address that. So when you do call 911, that they can, because minutes matter, right? And so they'll be able to respond and offer first response service to the person being affected by whatever's going on until EMS at that point, the ambulance ain't there to show up just to provide transportation. So the needed service render will be taking place as you see a fire truck there, but the personnel on that truck is trained and and got equipment to stabilize a person. The only thing they lack is transportation. And so, but we're going to try to get where they have an ambulance at each fire station so that we do have the transportation necessary. But without going into too much detail, as it's an issue, but the issue is being resolved or being addressed. And we just need to come up with something comprehensive that's going to be effective throughout the life cycle of our city. So that's whether we get our own EMS trucks or whatever. But I'm telling you now, Chief Judge, I promise you, have a solution for it, and it's being effective. And I think is absolutely great that he's on top of it. And so, but however,
I'll
the people
piggyback behind
who
you.
had a stroke of this, you said both of them in the hospital. So both of them are doing well, and they expect a full recovery.
Well, the first one, he had another stroke and he had a bleed out on the brain. So he's in ICU, trying to get him stable. That's what I'm saying. He should have been transported in the ambulance, not by his wife. This was his second stroke with a bleed out on the brain. That seems like a problem to me, Corey.
What it is, like, I'm not denying it's not a problem. And so I will not do that. And so what I'm saying is it's being addressed, but being transported by his wife, getting him to the hospital in the time that she got him there.
Yes,
right. But what I'm saying is this, because the time that the ambulance might have shown up was the time she was getting to the hospital, which could have been even a worse situation. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so the best option at that time, I'm just saying, let me put myself in a situation. If I was one on the scene, I said I couldn't do a policy stage, and I said the best option at the time, it was to drive him, because when you get to it, the people in the emergency room, they'll come out with, you just got to transport them. They'll come out with the guardian, the people necessary to assess the situation and quickly assess the situation, and then see what they need to do for next steps. So what I'm saying is, that was the best option at the time. Because you're right there, you're in the middle of an emergency. Minutes matter. Am I going to wait an extra 35 minutes for an ambulance to get in the car, drive myself? If I had that option, I was on the other side, get them in the car and I'll drive it, because they assessed, the fire pulled up, they assessed the situation, and they helped assist get them in the vehicle and use the transport at that time. I would have did the same deal. But yes, it is an issue, because it should be, because in a transportation vehicle, if you was going to shock or whatever, they have everything there equipped.
That's what I'm saying, Corey. You know, I'm in the medical field, so I'm definitely not buying that. But I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like, shoot, by the time they get there, you could have been drove yourself to wherever you're going, because that is, time matter now in certain situations.
I will speak of this. There was a woman who had a heart attack, recognized she was having a heart attack, drove herself to the hospital and got there in time too. I'm just saying, you're in the medical field, and I'm just saying, because if there was to go into shock in the middle of transportation, that would have been a problem, because the transportation or EMS services has the equipment to manage that. Right. And you driving, you can't manage the situation. That's a painful thing to you go through it until you he'll try to hit the gas faster because at that moment, your only one mission is to get there as quick as possible in a safe manner too. But sometimes rationale goes out the window when it's an emergency situation like that. But we'll just pray for him, hope that everything's okay. But this will be used as to when we have these conversations about the ambulance service. Because to sit up here, I mean, but this has been an ongoing issue. So as I'm just gonna say that we're just trying to work on the best solutions. And if it's having our own, get this, you know me, I'm with our own, but I do know it's a time thing. But
And excuse me, Councilman Reed, Jane Williams here. Hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Hi.
I will say too that in the last session for the legislative, they did discuss, I think Rhonda Bruce or somebody was trying to see how we could at least, if we couldn't get a hospital on the south side, where we could at least get an ambulance service on the south side. Because it is ridiculous if we can't, I mean, you know, and everything always happens over here. We can't get nothing down over here. But anywho, so
well, let me just say this. Let me say this. I mean, it's very interesting, right? Because you had emergency rooms, and I think everybody knows Suzette on the call here. As they have emergency rooms made out of containers, from like containers. It is fully cooled, everything, and you know, a site. In other words, I says this: if anybody ever seen the episodes of MASH, if anybody watched that, as it's kind of like those masses. You had doctors emergency, they set up, but it was intense. But these are now, it's more sophisticated, and the lack of these emergency rooms, it's kind of just think about it as emergency room pods, right? They got sections where you have the areas, and because minutes do matter. I mean, you got Piedmont Fayetteville. What's the closest emergency room? Yeah, South Fulton. I mean, what's that? No, is that Southern Regional? Southern Regional. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Then you got Piedmont Fayetteville. What's the next one outside of that? Emergency room.
Okay, can I jump in with you? So
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually had to call the ambulance for my brother this weekend, and the ambulance asked them to take him to Grady, and they said no. Grady is now a priority trauma center. So they said the ambulances are even in waiting at getting into Grady. So they said the choice was to take him to Southern Regional or Fayetteville Piedmont.
Right.
So those were the choices that we had to choose from on where to take him. The other thing I wanted to say is we offer CPR classes once a month at Burdette. We are the only location that is offering those classes. Ms. Mumford was out, but she's coming back next month. And the reason I'm saying that is 9 out of 10 people who have a cardiac arrest outside the hospital die because you have to get to them within the first few minutes, not just call 911 and wait for someone to get there. A lot of African Americans and Hispanic and low income people, neighborhoods do not take CPR. They wait for the bystanders to come and deal with it. And by then it's too late. They have to get to them for every minute, they are losing oxygen to their brain. Pretty much by 10 minutes, it's about to be a wrap. So waiting for an ambulance because we didn't take time to learn how to do CPR could turn out to be a reason somebody next to us in our family passes away. We really got to take it serious to learn it because you never know when you're going to need it. That's why you see on the news, little kids is saving people because they're taking the classes or they see what to do, but you really should do it because what's the number one reason people are heart attacks and stroke? So
get this, and I
that's,
don't know, I don't know what's up with these heart attacks and strokes, but I'm just letting y'all know, as they're happening more frequently. They could have been happening at the same rate prior, but to me, it's happening more frequently.
and some of the younger ones than the older ones.
And I'm not. And get this, I ain't in the health field. I ain't no health expert, but I just know that it's just something to me just don't seem right. But the importance of I'm CPR trained. I've been CPR trained for 10 years now, over 10 years actually. And so you can take the refresher courses, as also too, as people say, the mouth resuscitation. Well, people say, oh, I don't feel comfortable with that. They came up with little devices you can do. But now the American Heart Association switched it over to not just chest compressions. So if you have that caveat, you can do it out there by just administering chest compressions. And then if they need the shock, every store, everywhere you go, they should have an AED machine. And so that's the little red box, got the little red heart on it. Help me pronounce this right. Automatic something defibrillator. And so that's what they're having in the stores out there. So in case of emergency, you get that, and they need that shock value and to put it on. But I recommend this training, because I remember what y'all had the first training with that, Tamiko, as I played a victim. And so it's amazing, but they didn't know I was playing the victim though. So that was a caveat, but it's a shock value when you see it. But your reaction time, you got to get over that shock, that initial shock value. You got somebody's in distress, they need help, and you're waiting on somebody else, but that somebody else is you. And so it could be you. And so I just recommend you, if you go to it, is there a charge for this, or you have to just pay for the card or something, right? Tamiko?
It's free for seniors over 50, and under 50 pays I think $40 or $45, something like that.
Right. And that's for the card for American Heart Association.
When's the next
And so,
class? When's the next class? I need to
I
refresh.
have to pull up the date.
Okay, I need
But
to refresh.
it'll be in June, and it's on Saturdays, like 10 to 1.
right. And we'll be sending this out through our communications, so we'll be reminding folks that this is coming up.
Okay.
And so, but I encourage people to take it. And so it's like,
that's good, but we need some kind of emergency service over here.
Get this. Let me just tell you this. That's not going to be a quick fix. I'll be sitting
I
here lying to you.
understand.
That's coming. That's going to
Ain't
be
nothing
handled next week.
fix in South Florida.
Get this. That ain't going to be handled next week. It ain't going to be handled next month. And so, because it's going to be a process to get through it, to even get it, like you said, greater dealing with level 1 only. The reason why is because there's more influx. So they had to make a decision. So they only dealing with the trauma, because they are level 1 trauma, the hospital. And so your
Councilman
options
Reeves,
are Southern Regional and Piedmont Fayetteville. Go ahead.
and I want to just make sure you know that Ms. Chandra and Ms. Perry have been quietly having their hand up nicely.
Oh, okay. Let's go in order. You say, Chandra, go ahead, and then Ms. Perry. Absolutely.
Thank you, Tamika. And Councilman, just to express this, the AED is the automated external defibrillator.
Thank you.
It's automated external defibrillator. But and as it relates to, and I too am in the medical field. So when it comes to emergencies, it's get you to the closest facility to where you currently are. It's not about picking and choosing where you want to go. It's the closest facility to provide medical assistance to your needs. So
right. And
that's why those two facilities may be the closest one.
No, that's what I'm saying. Those two facilities are the closest ones, according to the geographical region we in. And
they almost the only ones.
Well, I'm speaking specifically for this area. I'm not speaking for the rest. I'm just saying, because you can just do a mileage check. You can go on maps and do a mileage check and check and verify. And so that's what I'm speaking of. And even if the option was Grady, which is no longer an option, because ambulance, you said, is waiting to get in there, and then there's only accepting level 1 trauma, because when those other 2 emergency rooms closed, as Boulevard and Cleveland Avenue, the influx was coming to Grady. So they just made that change. And so because they
And
couldn't
that may
handle
have
the
been
load.
because Grady was on diversion. That may not, that diverting ambulances away from Grady may have been during that one particular incident or that one particular weekend. And that Grady was on diversion. And by diversion, meaning they were full. The emergency room was full and could not take any more emergencies at that particular time. But that wasn't the reason why I had my hand up was regarding the with last week's council meeting, the supplemental insurance that was on the agenda. I noticed that it was removed from the agenda the day of, and I did not, I was working, so I could not even listen to the call, the meeting that night, but was it totally removed? And is it going to be brought up again, or was that in executive session?
Oh, no. Get this. Y'all have to understand something, because see, to call last week, because remember, on Wednesday, I was about to call him and say, hey, look here, I need to get this, because I got a little leak outside. So I noticed it wasn't on the agenda. I'm saying, why was this pulled and what is going on? Because it's a great program. And I'm working on the answer for that, because I need an answer for that. It's like, I'm not understanding, like, why is that service, why was that not on the agenda? And so, because I read through it, I was looking, I said, was it on the consent agenda? I had to go read through it 3 times to make sure it wasn't on there. And so, because of this, I'll just wait for my answer, which should come tomorrow when we open back up, is because I do have questions for that. And so I get that answer to you and to anybody else who wanted to as well. And so, but Ms. Perry, you had your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, thank
Miss-
you. Yeah, sorry, I had to find the unmute button. But so my question is about the HVAC and electrical training that you were offering, or that you're having at Burdette, I think June 1st.
This coming up Friday, which is
No, the basketball is starting
right,
this Friday
right.
and the trades
The
are
classes
starting
start next
next
week, Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But what I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah, that's
is,
right. June 6th.
right,
That's right. I'm looking at it
right.
now.
Because let me just give
So,
you hold on, let me give you the backdrop. Because see, the midnight basketball, the spots are open because those young men who come play basketball will have the first opportunity to sign up for the version of that for the June 6th classes.
okay, so
So I
that's
want
what
to be
I
clear
know
on.
you mentioned that in the Tuesday city council meeting. It kind of threw me. I was like, so I thought you had said it's already filled.
So get this. I said the registration closed as of yesterday, but and so I was waiting. So, but then it was after the fact that I got a message that the registration is still open. So that the registration, to my knowledge now, is still open. Matter of fact, I got to help somebody walk through the process to fill out their team. And so, as far as I know, Tamiko, correct me if I'm wrong, that the registration for midnight basketball, which starts this Friday, is still open. But I think that they have enough teams to get started. But mind you, I think it will still be open because the idea is to have this Friday and Saturday. So we would need more teams to sign up. So I would imagine that it would still be open.
Okay, so you're saying that in order to take the electrical service training, you have to be on one of the basketball teams.
They have the first right to the open slots to sign up. If they don't take advantage of it, then we will have anybody who else wants to take the course to be able to sign up. But the first rights is to, because this is free. And so is that the first right, because this is what the midnight basketball is to draw the people in, the young men in. But and they come out now, I believe as a co-ed, so because this is not just for young men, we target young men, but if they had a girl on the team and she wanted to sign up for it. I mean, we're not going to turn them away because that'll be crazy. And so, but the opportunity is for the people who are participating in midnight basketball will have the opportunity to sign up. But if they don't take advantage of it, then it would be open up. Those same free slots will be open up to people who want to sign up for that course. That is to my understanding. And so how the details of that break down. And so, but Mr. You know, anyway, has offered him to be my special guest so he can, you know, that he's going, because I'm in the class, I'm taking the class. Because see, I want to just be able to tell, I want to be able to, you know, firsthand let people know of the experience and what they're going to be learning. So I'm in the course. And so I think, because this is how much I believe in it, the director's in the course too. And so, in which we'll be able to educate, well, he'll be able to teach people out there in the course as well. So you have some more instructors. Because this is just the basic level. Now, I want to be very clear on something. You know, to be an electrician, certified, you know, it's a whole, it's not a 6-week process. This first series right here, process, is the first course that you would take in becoming a fully licensed electrician, because it's steps of the process. So we're offering this out there free so people can have it. So, but if they wanted to continue on down, they can continue on down that path. And there's another segment that will help them assist in the financial portion of that, but it won't be this one. But it's a whole other segment that will help and assist them in the financial portion. Because I don't want to make it seem like, oh, you can just come here and sign up, go to this course over here, and you're a certified electrician. As no, but that is, you're on your way to be it, because some people can go through the course, I don't want to do this. That's why HVAC is offered. That's why fiber optic insulation is offered. That's why plumbing is going to be offered. And so, but we have to have the corporate sponsored companies to do that. And, you know, Mr. Henry of It's Electric is the one who came in and, you know, and who also has a school to complete your whole electric training. I mean, he's very, very good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have him on the call too, as to come out and just tell him, just give him his backstory and background, because it's a very remarkable story, and to offer that. But I want to be clear on that.
Who keep putting my hand in?
Who keep putting your
Okay.
hand down? You do.
Okay, so to simplify that for me, to pass on to others, is first of all, you can still go ahead and register, but the ones who have registered for the midnight basketball, get the first right of
First options,
refusal.
absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And
So
then
you can always
secondly,
tell them they can create a team and sign up a team too and come play too. It's not, you know, is the whole deal is, a caveat is, this is a, you know, it's the summertime, Friday, Saturday nights, and the last game does kick off at midnight. So we this is real midnight basketball. And so but we wanted to be, you know, keep people coming, and it's just here is the start of it. The robust program is citywide, but let me just be clear on that too, is that this is not just, it's just starting here, but overall it's going to, you know, be, you know, citywide, as, you know, we have more areas and more, you know, space and more people signing and filling up, and more corporate sponsors. And so it's, but yes, tell
do you
them they
foresee
will have to
this?
sign up for the team, create a team, sign
Mhm.
up, register the team, or they will have to wait until see what the availability is next Tuesday on what will be open. And that will be on a first come, first served basis.
And
Okay.
if they don't have a team and they want to play ball, they will put them on a team.
Right.
Okay, and then they should also know that there's more steps to this after the 6-week training. You don't automatically become an electrician after the 6-week course.
These are introductory courses.
Right.
That's why they're only trade schools last like months to a year or two. So there's no way a 6-week class is gonna give you a whole year or two of information, 2 hours once a week. So this is the basics. That's why it's electric 101, HVAC 101.
But it also says certificate classes.
No,
So
get it, get
They
it.
will get a
Hold on.
certificate that they
That's what I'll be
completed
clear
the
on.
program, but that's not
Right.
certification.
right.
No, no,
Okay.
no. It's not. No. First of all, it's a licensed electrician. There's no certification for a license. You got to go actually do a whole exam. But this certificate out there will give you, it's like a continuing education credit. So when you go in there and continue the course, mind you, it's electrical. They have a whole school now. Get this, it's not just a certificate program. They have an old school for you to become a licensed electrician. And so that's what I'm saying is I want to be clear on that. Is like, but your certificate, and that's you get a certificate because you can present that if you sign up. You go, okay, cool. As now you can start with a process on level 1, just say it's levels to it, right? You're on level 1. Okay, now you can go in there on level 2. So if you want to continue on. And what I'm saying is for those who cannot afford to continue on, because it does cost, it's not free. And so there's another separate deal that will help them assist with the financing portion of that, if not portions of it, all of it. But that's not this. That's a whole separate topic. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to get it confused. Okay, but I'm just saying, because this portion is free, the rest of it is not free, period. So, but we're going to focus on this portion because that's going to get them through. But I will tell you this, you know how to change the ceiling fan. I'm taking it, I pay somebody to change my ceiling fan. I should be able to do that myself. And so basic stuff. That's what I'm saying. This is the basics. And so but yes, sign up through the
Okay.
portal. If one person
Yeah.
needs to sign up, tell one person to sign up. Like the two people said, they'll be put on the team. As this doesn't have to be, if you got a team, if you got 5 people, great. If you only got 1 person, 2 person, sign them up. They're gonna find you a spot. And so we don't want to have any barrier of excuses of why they can't do it, as we want to give them every possibility of why they can do it.
Yeah, I just want to be clear because I've been saying something different. So I was like, but then when I went on the website, I was like, I don't think this is what. And then too, when you said that about at Tuesday's city council, I was like, okay, let me put the brakes and get more details on what's going on. So I mean, you clarified it for me, so now I know what to say.
Well, look here. Thank you for coming to see clarity. I appreciate that, and you can always reach out and do that because we like folks to have the facts of what's going on. So thank you for that. All right, as Ms. Jane, I see you, but Suzette had her hand up too. Go ahead, Suzette.
Okay, a little, I guess, background and also the latest. What I have done is I have submitted a proposal as well as a drawing to the head of the health department, Dr. Rochelle. I did that about 6 weeks ago. I ran into Marvin at the teen fair, and he submitted again my proposal. I have not heard back from Dr. Rochelle. One thing is we may want to consider in regards to the emergency room, having a private instead of a public, because it doesn't seem like they're moving very quickly on this. What would happen is that my proposal is that I would have 16 rooms. They could also convert a couple of the rooms into emergency surgeries if needed, where people could be taken to the emergency room in this hospital desert, and they would be able to have a timeliness to it instead of having to drive an hour to 2 hours with the ambulance lights blaring and sirens. This would, help reduce the extreme results in any illnesses, diseases, or shootings, accidents, whatever. And you and I have been chatting about this for a while. Tamiko has been chatting with me for a while, and it's one of these that we need to proceed with it.
Well,
And
let me just say this. I don't want to cut you off too tough, but I'm just saying that we did have a transition from an objective that we was trying to achieve. As due to the call, we changed that transition into something that's also needed for the community along those same lines. And so my only thing with private versus public is they can just decide to do things privately. But if they want to be private that accepts public, then that's something different. But we can, revisit that conversation. Matter of fact, is once we get this fleshed out thoroughly, because we literally change scopes. Hey, get this, due to this call. And so, we talked probably past midnight on effectuating this, but then really trying to get it out now is to identify, and now is get it right there and identify some land, because this is something that can be actually tangible, that can happen. But we'll talk offline about that might be something that could be in the conversation as a possibility, but we'll talk offline about that. So, but great concepts. As the more and more I think about it, and the more and more I look around and hearing these stories about what Ms. Johnson said today is some things are just needed until folks can get their minds right and understand what's really needed. But I can't help that, but we can help this possibly as an idea, and in something that's already functional, and being utilized. So there's precedence on that too. So we can go through all health safety checks and measures that would come with that. Because one thing emergency room have to be is a clean room. And so but that's particularly with surgeries. And so, but we can talk offline about that, because we can go on and on to the break of dawn about that right now, as I do want to get the Miss Williams call. But I get with you, Suzette.
okay, well, it's one of these that, part of my proposal is that it will be sanitized.
Oh no, I mean I get it holistically. Trust me, I got it.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, yeah, right. So I mean, so
I
everybody
guess,
we want to effectuate it to make sure that everybody understands the same thing.
okay. Well,
Right.
I guess we need some people in the medical field to, reach out and say, hey, we need this. And all come and give their expertise.
We got two of them on the call right now. Very well in the medical profession. But we'll link up that later, Suzette, because I want to be able to. It's 7:30, and I want to get to Miss Williams and anybody else who have a question. But
Okay.
we will talk offline. Okay.
All right. Sounds
All right,
good.
thank you. Mhm.
Okay,
Jane?
thank you, Councilman Reed. I think you all might have clarified one of my questions, because I thought the midnight basketball, I didn't realize either that you could, I thought the purpose of the midnight basketball was, you had to sign up for the classes, and then after you take the classes, then the midnight basketball starts. So that's not the case.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Well, how do you ensure that the people who are playing the midnight basketball are actually going to go through the class? Because I thought that was the whole purpose, was to make sure that whoever was going to get the training and then play basketball. So how do you ensure,
The
or does
caveat is
that not have an effect?
no, ma'am. The caveat is basketball is the draw.
Uh-huh.
People want to play, and so but some people who playing basketball, I mean, some people ain't working, some people are. The
Okay.
opportunity to provide them a trade and
Okay.
something, a skill, but there's something else that's being worked on that I'm not going to disclose here. But that's gonna be a certainty. Get this, as they're gonna participate, yeah, 'cause, you know, we want to make it holistic. I mean, if you want to come out and have fun, that's great. But get this, there's an opportunity out there. You got to put in work as to really
okay.
kind of better. That's what I'm saying. They'll have opportunity.
Okay, I got
To be get this, they will have first right to refusal. Now, if they refuse it, the slots are still open, and then there are people who want to be able to come in and take that course will still be able to come in and take it. But understand
Okay.
that the whole deal is that the basketball was the draw to draw them in, because some people, you know, want to get the just to even have it. It's the basics. But, you know, and because some people might not want to do electric, but they might take HVAC and they might want to do HVAC, or they might
Okay.
want to do fiber optic installation. And so that all of them. And then when you have plumbing coming down, but, you know, we need corporate sponsors for this to do it. And I'm just saying that so we corrected that. That's in order. So I'm glad you.
Okay.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you understand now how it works?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
good deal. All right, cool. Because it's 7:33. It is Memorial Day. I know somebody got something on the grill. Anybody got a hot dog, baked beans? Nobody? I want some barbecue. Anyway, but I'm serious. I'm so serious, dog. Y'all be thinking I'll be playing, and then somebody gonna say I got some, and I'll be over there. And but however, cheeseburger? Nobody? Okay. Well, anybody else
Got
got any
some
questions?
jackfruit ribs.
Huh?
Got some jackfruit ribs.
Jackfruit.
Jackfruit. Oh, hey, get this. I'm coming to get me some. Cause hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Do everybody know what jackfruit is?
No.
Hey, get
Yes,
this.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
No.
check it out. Check it out.
I never had.
Yes,
So,
sir.
well, let me just say this, because I'm not a vegetarian, 100% vegetarian, 100% I love steak too much. I'm not that. But I have changed a lot the way I eat. And I'm just saying that I do eat a lot of that. But my first opportunity, as I was on the food truck, it was barbecue, and I said I want the baked beans or something. Then I said, hold up, I didn't know they had a vegetarian option. And I said, what is that? They said a jackfruit sandwich. And so I said, well, let me just try one of them. Hey, people, let me tell you something. I didn't even know what jackfruit was at the time. I ain't gonna lie. This was about a year ago. And so, but I had it. I said, man, this tastes just like a doggone barbecue, a pulled beef barbecue. Well, you know, with sauce and all that, but it's not beef, but it's jackfruit. And so you can take jackfruit, open it up, it can shred like chicken, it can shred like whatever. It's amazing what it is, and it's good. And if you make it right, oh my God, that's some good eating right there. Hey, I'm literally coming over to get me some. I'm so serious, Shonda. I promise I'll be over in about 10 minutes. And so, as
I didn't say that. I don't have jackfruit here.
who said that?
I
Didn't
was
Shonda
just
say that?
commenting on fresh jackfruit, but I don't have any. Yeah.
Who said jackfruit ribs?
Me,
See?
Kandia.
You know what? You got something for real, or you playing?
No,
Shonda,
where
I'm so
I'm
sorry
going,
because I saw the
where
name that popped up on here. That's
where I was,
because I get
where I
it. I
was,
was literally gonna be ringing your doorbell
I
talking about you playing.
where I was going earlier today. They have them, and I really wanted to make it over there. I'm still going to, but they'll probably be gone.
Oh, you know what? See, you playing with my emotions, Smokey. But,
I'm gonna have to
it's
make
all-
some for you. I'll make some for you and call you.
Absolutely. So look here. Anybody else got anything today? We're gonna go ahead and end the call. No other things? Okay, well, look here. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for joining, taking time out of y'all day today to join us. Y'all the very most important part of the city. As I love the way y'all stay engaged. Tamika, do we have any announcements or anything besides this Friday?
The one I would say, invite a friend, a neighbor, someone onto the call, because we will be having more and more events coming. And every time we go out, people say they don't know what we're talking about. They never get the information. They didn't know we were on the call. So if y'all could just help us tell people about the calls, so they can have access to information and talking to us and keep up with everything. Get to the newsletter, get to the website. That'd be our best thing that I can ask for. The biggest thing that we are pushing right now is the fact that we are a week away from the basketball games starting and the trade classes. But we have a new situation that has happened. Facts to Thrive was approved for a few summer jobs. So if you know someone between 16 to 24 that needs a summer job, then let us know. We will be putting it in the newsletter. The flyer will be in the newsletter coming out tomorrow morning. So we only have a few slots for the summer and what the positions are. But if you know someone, it will be 40 hours for the summer. And it will include a laptop and some uniforms, AKA summer clothes, AKA clothes for them.
So this is 40 hours a week, not 40 hours for the summer.
40 hours per week, 8 weeks, $15 an hour, plus money for a uniform, assistance if they need some travel assistance, and a laptop. We put all of that into the grant request.
16 to 24. And I know somebody, I know y'all know a person who said, get a job, do something for the summer, get it for the summer. And it's gonna be very interesting because the work they're gonna be doing is going to be tangible work that they're going to be able to see the outcome in. And so we're just gonna leave it right there as we give you the facts so you can thrive. And I'm just telling you now, is this is what we're doing over here. So
I'm sorry, Councilman Reed, I'm sorry.
Jane, you always interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, but listen, this one is important. It's about the South Fulton Environmental Justice Academy, okay?
Okay.
And this is from Representative
Mandisa Thomas.
Yes.
Great
So
program.
that will start June the 8th, and it's a 5-week course. Adults, if you finish the course, you get $200, and the youth, from my understanding, and the youth will get $100. Okay. So if you have any more questions, just give me a call or put my number in the chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Get asked.
Send me the
you're right
flyer
about
or
that.
info.
I sent
and I'll
it to
put
you
in the
already.
newsletter. Okay.
I sent it to you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So we'll put, matter of fact, we'll put that in our mailer as we get ready to send that out too.
Okay.
As you're right, that I did see something on that. And she's also having a civic engagement at Palmetto Library on the 16th and 17th of June to know more about just basic civics as well. And so we'll send all that information, we'll put it in there. As,
Okay, thank you.
You're absolutely right. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Love you all. You can't do nothing about it. I appreciate y'all really, again, for taking time out of y'all holiday to join this call. I literally be thinking we're going to be on here for about 10 or 15 minutes. Y'all always shock me because we always go over. I was literally trying to keep it to 7:30 today. But however, well, look here. Y'all go enjoy the balance of y'all day. And thank you for all you do. And so we'll talk next week. And if you have anything, Suzette, I'll get with you in a minute. And anybody else, just reach out to me and take care. Enjoy your week. And good night.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.